We are live, everybody. Welcome back. Hope everybody had a good weekend.
Yes,
Um,
sir.
Again, it feels like it's been so long. It's good to see you, Joe.
Good to see you. Good to see you.
It's good not to see Vic. He off today.
He didn't want to take his losses. He been getting his ass kicked with these predictions and these picking players. Like he ain't doing too good. So, he ain't want to come on air and get aired out. But hope he and the family. I hope everyone doing well. You know, everything good. He might pop up, so let's keep an
Yeah,
eye open.
he's known to pop up on us sometimes at the last minute. So we'll see what happens.
Right. It's a hot one. I hope everyone is staying cool wherever you guys are at. Staying hydrated. Get that water up in your system.
Mm-hmm.
And stay fresh and cool, man. Keep them cold rags on you.
Essentia, we still looking for that hookup. We'll
Yeah,
plug you all day.
Essentia. That's all I drink. So if y'all watching, promotion is definitely in effect right now. So
we need that. We need that.
yeah, holla at us. Holla at us.
So I'll start off real quick. The round of 16 of the Euros is already over. Last game was today. So we got the quarterfinals set up already. So the last 8 teams, which will start Friday. Some big upsets actually in this round of 16. Um, Denmark beating Wales is a big deal. Wales is not a powerhouse team, but they definitely have had the better player, especially with Christian Eriksen still out. They haven't really given too many updates on what's going on with him, but I know he is out of the hospital, so I guess that's
That's good. It's
that's
good
a good
news.
thing. So Denmark is kind of the Cinderella story right now, um, especially with how things started, losing their best player. No one had them. I don't think too many people had them getting to the round of 16, let alone getting into the quarterfinal. And then Italy took care of business last Saturday, winning 2-1 Austria. They did finally give up a goal. I think they did set the record 32 matches straight without a loss. So that's still going, but their minute streak, they had like over 1,000 minutes without giving up a goal. That did end, unfortunately. They did give up the one goal, but that's okay. Netherlands, that's an upset. Netherlands got upset by the Czech Republic. And then I'm pretty sure I read the next day their coach, he left the team, pretty much got fired. So that was a big loss for the Netherlands. Belgium and Portugal. Belgium barely escaped 1-0. They beat out Ronaldo. That was a really good game. Some are saying that might be the last time we see Ronaldo in a Portugal uniform. We don't know. We'll see. I hope not. I think he plays some of his best soccer when he's playing for country. He has a lot of pride for where he's from, and I hope that's not how he goes out. Croatia versus Spain was a crazy game. Started with the own goal. Spain's keeper couldn't handle the back pass. So started with the own goal. Croatia was in position to win it, and then they blew it. They ended up losing 5-3. But Spain was the favorite. The biggest upset probably of the whole thing happened. France lost to Switzerland in after overtime. It went to a penalty shootout, and Mbappe, who's one of the best players in the world,
Yeah, right.
he was talking a lot of shit before this Euro started, and he's the one that missed the penalty to lose it for France, and they end up losing to Switzerland, which is crazy. He came out and apologized and said and all that because he had to, but he really. It's a big blow for France. It's a big blow for his confidence. I think we'll see how he responds to that. Because again, a lot of people have France, including myself, winning this whole thing.
Right,
And then
right.
today, England beat Germany, which was a real big deal. I don't remember the exact amount of years, but they said it's been a very long time since England has beaten Germany. And England was not at full strength because they are still missing two of their best players from the COVID protocol, which we talked about a few weeks back. And then just a few hours ago, wrapped up, Ukraine beat Sweden 2-1. So that sets up a quarterfinal of Switzerland versus Spain, Belgium versus Italy, which is going to be the big game. I think, honestly, whoever wins that game is going to end up the winner. And then we got Czech Republic versus Denmark and Ukraine versus England. Those are all happening this weekend, Friday and Saturday. So make sure y'all check those games out. My quick predictions, I'm taking Spain, Italy, Denmark, and England in those games. So hopefully Italy can pull it out because Belgium is a very, very good team. So we'll see what happens.
All right, cool. I'm gonna ride with you with Italy and Spain because that's part of my heritage. And the other two games, I guess I'll just wait and play it by ear. But good luck to Italy again. They made it this far, and like you said, France was probably the biggest challenge ahead of them. So seeing that those guys are gone, this is up for the taking. So hopefully
it is.
Hopefully Italy get it together and possibly bring it home.
Yep. Like I said, Belgium is a really good team. I mean, from top to bottom, they got quality players in every position. Dudes who are playing in some of the best leagues around the world for their clubs. But Kevin De Bruyne, he may be out. He's arguably Belgium's best player, so that might be a plus for us or for Italy. So we'll see. It'll be a good game. It's going to be, I think, the most competitive game of all these quarterfinal games. But those other games, there's some interesting stuff there too.
All right,
so
cool.
Y'all check it out. It'll be a good weekend of sports. Because I don't know about where you at, but it's supposed to rain all weekend here. So I'm going to be in the house watching soccer all weekend.
Yeah, they said it would, but judging based on the way things are feeling, it may move. So as of right now, I'm still optimistic that we might not get as much rain as they said. So, but anything to cool this heat off, man. 99 degrees just ain't it. So
yeah, it's only 85 here, but we've been getting a lot of rain.
Lucky you, because 95 is here. It's 97 today, and tomorrow's supposed to jump up to 99, possibly 100. The heat is gonna make it feel like 105. So, we here. We got to deal with it. So, that's why I'm telling everybody: stay cool, stay inside if you can. Stay under the air conditioners, keep that water in your system and try not to do much.
Yeah. And I think I forgot to say it, but welcome to Shoot Your Shot Podcast. It's episode 13.
Episode 13.
We're a little late on that, but it's all good. You know where you at. If you're here, you know where you at, but we still like to say it. And again, I appreciate everybody that's listening, everybody that goes back every week and re-listens. And again, shout out to Scales. If y'all missed it, Fish Scales from Nappy Roots was on the last episode. So make sure y'all go hit the YouTube page and check that out. So I want to keep it moving. I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This news came out a couple weeks ago. 105. Vic in Florida, so I know what that weather like. That 105 ain't no joke.
Yeah, my car said 102. So even though it's 90 something outside, the sun beams on your car for hours. So your car is going to be naturally hotter. So I understand where you're coming from.
But yeah, like I was saying, a couple weeks ago, this came out. The all NBA All Rookie team. The first team was LaMelo Ball. Well, obviously deserved that. Anthony Edwards deserved that. Halliburton, I guess, deserved that. This is where my issue comes in. Sadiq Bey out of Detroit and Jashawn Tate out of Houston. I ain't heard of neither of these dudes all season, right?
Well, I'm gonna let you
I'm sorry.
because I heard of one. I know I know
I know.
Sadiq Bey.
I say that I'm being facetious when I say I haven't heard of him. I have heard of Sadiq Bey out of Detroit. I did watch a couple of the games when they played the Knicks. But I'm sorry, Emmanuel Quickly. Again, he was a second round pick. It is a blessing that he's even on this list. But there's no way Emmanuel Quickly is not ahead of Sadiq Bey and whoever Jay Sean Tate is. Because again, I ain't heard of this dude. He wasn't playing the meaningful minutes that Quickly was. Quickly did miss a good little chunk of the season at the end, but I just don't see how this man is not a first team all rookie. It makes no sense to me. Especially in the beginning and the middle of the season, he was one of the only. He was one of the top three rookies that we were talking about. It was Ball, Edwards, and Quickly. Like I nobody was talking about Bey. No, damn sure nobody was talking about Tate. I don't get it. Maybe you can explain it to me, but right now it's not making any sense to me.
Well, like I said, I could understand the Sadiq Bey pick. He plays in Detroit, so they don't get that much talk about anyway. But he did have a good season. He averaged about 12.5 points per game, and he stole a starting position. Like, he was a guy that was drafted, and nobody didn't think he was going to even crack the starting lineup. And after after about 12 to 15 games, he ended up getting a starting job. So I can give him a position. Now, as far as Jay Sean Tate, it all depends on what side are you looking from? Another guy that is a starter, and I think that's where it hurts Quickly. Quickly, out of all those five guys, Quickly is the only one that's really a bench guy. Jay Sean Tate is another one that, started the season on the bench, but ended up stealing a starting position as the season progressed. You could thank James Harden for that, because once he left Houston, it opened the doors for them starting for those guys like that. But he's another one. He averaged about 11.5, close to 12 points per game. He had a lot of starters minutes. So it's like I could understand your debate, but it's like when you take a guy that how many games Quickly started this year? Not even
Quickly didn't start any games.
Right. So he doesn't even have 5 starts under his belt. So, you look at the 5 guys that they did choose as the first teamers. Those guys were they all started on the bench, I think, with the exception of Halliburton. Halliburton did start on the bench. And then once Fox went down with injuries and Hill was missing games here and there, Halliburton stepped up, and they just decided to keep him in the starting lineup. So, these are 5 guys that started more than 80 to 90% of their games, just like Ball. Melo Ball came in, and, he was a bench guy for the first week or two. And then after that, they had to put him in that starting lineup, and he changed the whole dynamic of that team. Same thing with Edwards. Edwards was on the bench, and as soon as they threw that guy in the starting lineup, everything changed. I felt he should have won Rookie of the Year, especially with all the games LaMelo missed. So, I understand your debate. You're a Knicks fan, and there's plenty of Knicks fans out there that feel the same way. But I have no gripe with it. It's a meaningless list. Like,
at the end of the day, it means nothing. But
nobody's gonna really remember it or talk about it. Like, who was all rookie first team? He was all rookie second team. Like, that's not something we usually bring up in a debate. Now, if it was Rookie of the Year, then maybe I can understand your beef. But at the end of the day, you look at the upside. Who may have the biggest upside? Who may have the biggest to gain from this? And seeing that Quickly is going to be the next guy up faster than a Jayshawn Tate or Sadiq Bey. You never know. We come back in 4 to 5 years. Quickly may be better than all those guys. So,
yeah, I truly see as his at his peak, I see him as the next Lou Williams. When Lou was doing it, the six man, and was doing it as a much better rate than he's doing it now. I think on our team, if he sticks with the Knicks on this Knicks team,
Jamal Crawford.
Yeah, well, I say just like similar body type, similar play style. They're very they're much closer than him and Jamal Crawford. I mean, Jamal Crawford was like 6'6", and I mean
6'5", 6'6".
Yeah,
Quickly as well, 6'2".
If that, let me check. No, they say it's 6'3". They say he's 6'3".
6'3". All right. Well, you never know. He may grow an
Yeah.
inch or two. He's still young. What is he, 20, 19, 20?
He is 22.
Oh, okay. So, you never know, man. Especially the way the league is going. You look at a guy like Russell Westbrook is 6'3".
Yep.
Steph Curry is 6'3". You know what I'm saying? So, hey, you never know, man. And I think the Knicks trust him.
Yeah.
They do put a little bit of trust in him.
He definitely played some meaningful minutes this year. He was in the game when the game's on the line.
Yeah,
he had big minutes in the playoffs. Whether most of those minutes he didn't play very well. I mean, he had a good little stretch in the playoffs, but he did struggle a little bit, which is I won't say expected, but you can't fault him. And I even think Obi Toppin showed that what he could be more towards the end of the year. He definitely didn't put a full year together to deserve to be on either of these teams, but towards the end of the year, he definitely showed more of what he's capable of. And he started hitting that corner three at a consistent basis, which is going to be big for his game. Because everybody kind of just looked at him as he's just coming in, he's a dunker, and that's it. But he plays hard. He is a dunker. He plays hard. He can shoot that shot, and I think he'll get better on defense the stronger he gets. But yeah, I mean, I just for me, I get everything you're saying. I could give you Sadiq Bey, but at the end of the day, I think the quality of minutes should be taken into account for, and those two dudes didn't play a meaningful game all year.
I feel you. I get that point, But if you watch the games, and I agree with that. Detroit was nowhere near a playoff team. Houston was nowhere near a playoff team. So it's like you can give those guys the ball and let them do whatever they want. And, they could jack up 15, 20 shots a game, and it won't hurt them. Quickly doesn't have that type of, team. So,
right.
he gets less chances, but he makes the most out of his chances. So I understand that, we should take that into accountability, but the NBA never does that. It's about they look at certain numbers and, certain aspects, and it doesn't really define, who this and who that is. Just like I said, Rookie of the Year. If Melo wouldn't have missed those games, hands down, I would have gave it to him. But once he missed them games with that broken wrist or hand or whatever it was, then it was like I had to lean towards Edwards, because Edwards not only did he continue to play, but he stepped it up a notch. From that point
he
on,
did.
He stepped it up a notch. So
and I like that about Edwards. When he got drafted, and all the reports were saying he wanted to be a rapper and he wanted to be this and he wanted to be that, I wasn't a big fan. But as the season has progressed, I'm becoming more and more of a fan. He talks a lot of shit, which I love. I'm cut from the Rasheed Wallace, old school KG when he was on the Timberwolves cloth. Talk a lot of shit, bam on motherfuckers. Let them know what your presence. A lot of coaches will tell you, let your play do the talking. Nah, fuck that. Let your talk do the talking. As well. And he did both. So I'm definitely a big fan of that man. I would have gave him the Rookie of the Year too, just because again, Ball did miss a lot of games, and that should have been taken into account. But apparently, what do we know? We're not NBA execs or whoever chooses that. But
I mean, I
that
also like Edwards because I just love like when a player just seems like they're not putting 100% into the game and still able to like look great. I just be like, yo, give this guy another year to where he gets the right circle around him and he starts putting 100% into this game. Like he
hmm
displayed he displayed everything he can do. Like, he's fast, he's quick, he could jump out the building.
hmm
The jump shot is there. He can get to the rack. He got the little quick, the handles. So it's like I see Edwards topping the class, in about 3 years. Yeah, Melo might be the overall, do everything. He fill up the stat sheet with assists and rebounds as well. But when it comes to straight scoring, putting the ball in the hoop, Edwards is gonna top those guys easily.
Yeah. I'm just to respond to Anthony. It's a different Knicks team, man. We got a different front office. James Dolan's not getting as involved. I know there's a lot of rumors right now that we about to give up the whole damn crew for Damian Lillard, but let's give them time to see what happens. I think they're gonna let this team grow a little bit, but I could be wrong. What do I know? But as far as Edwards is concerned, I think I agree with everything that you said. I just think he might be in a better position to win sooner because if they keep that Timberwolves team together, there's some talent on that Timberwolves team, whereas Charlotte is a little further away, I think, as far as a team is concerned, with talent wise. So I think we might get to see the best of Edwards sooner because of that.
Yeah, I would love for them
Um,
to keep that together. Edwards, Cat, you get a wing guy,
D'Lo,
a shooter. You got
yeah.
Russell there as well.
If
So,
D'Lo could get that Brooklyn Nets form back,
yeah, and also understand the role. Like look at it like, let me get these guys involved over scoring. I'm a score when needed and when I can. But as far as scoring, let these guys do that. Let your
yep,
guys around them. And I just think that's the problem with these young guys today. They just want to score so much, and that
yep,
beats winning. At the end of the day, it's about winning. That's what I assume. I always look at it like, if you win, you're gonna get the contract. You're gonna get the money.
yep, yep.
You can score and get the money, but then how long does that last? I always look at winners. Look at the whole Golden State Warriors team. Everybody say Draymond ain't worth it, but he got a big contract.
Yeah,
Klay
I was
Thompson.
actually just about to bring up
Yeah,
Draymond, he's a perfect example.
right,
You get
right.
in where you fit in.
Yeah,
And he just talked about it on that show, that LeBron show with the barbershop or
the
whatever.
barbershop. Yeah.
Why would I shoot when I got the best shooter in
The
the
best
world right
shooter in the
here?
world. Exactly. The same thing with Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson is not a first option. He's not the number one guy on the team, but he was part of the winning culture and he has a nice contract. So it's
Yep,
not like, winners don't get rewarded for it. You know what I'm saying? Look at, people bring up LeBron James. All his guys, all the role players that has played with LeBron James has went on to sign good deals, get good contracts due to them winning, not due to them scoring and being
right.
good scorers, just being part of a winning culture, a winning team, and around winners, you get rewarded for that. JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard, like those are
Not
guys that,
everybody can score.
right, and not just
You
that,
think of if you go back to those early 2000s Clippers teams when they whole team was just scores and everybody thought Elton Brand. I'm talking about the
yeah,
Elton Brand, Lamar Odom, Darius
the
Miles, Quentin.
longevity,
Yeah,
yeah, like
all those dudes were all scores. Keon Dooling, they were all scores, but they couldn't put it together because
they
nobody
couldn't
wanted to
put it
pass the
together.
ball
They couldn't
unless it was
win.
a flashy highlight or a lob. It was all ISO
They all got one decent contract, and then
and
they all
fizzled.
out of the league. Quentin
Except for Quinn
Richardson.
Richardson, he lasted a long time.
I mean,
Elton
he
Brand
bounced
lasted a long
around,
time.
but he didn't really accomplish much. And it's like you got that nice contract, and it went down from there. You had to sign 1-year deals here and there, here and there, here and there,
Mm-hmm.
and everyone that signed you was expecting you to take it up, and you just couldn't, and you out the league. You know.
Yep. Wiseman, we talked about him a couple times, Anthony, already, but it all depends on what happens. You know, they saying they're trying to trade him. You know, if he gets
Yeah.
traded to another team, it's all going to depend on where he ends up.
I don't think he's going to be in Golden State long.
It doesn't seem like they wanted to draft him in the first place.
I mean,
they just couldn't find a package.
I personally would have took LaMelo. I don't know why they didn't. I would have took LaMelo because if you put LaMelo with those two guys, with Clay and Steph, that's magic. That's beautiful right there. I would have took LaMelo. Wiseman doesn't fit their style of play unless he could develop a crazy jump shot within the next 4 or 5 months. I don't see him staying there long. They will piece together something to send him somewhere. I'm hearing in Toronto. I don't like that deal because I don't think Siakam is the right player for them. But everything is leaning towards the Toronto. I'm not feeling that. So, but
the Warriors with the team that they have set up, they like that traditional protect the rim running big man. Think about all the dudes that they won in their championship runs. Zaza Pachulia was just a rim to rim, protect the rim, stay in the paint, body dudes out, body dudes. Kevin Looney. They tried with DeMarcus Cousins, even though DeMarcus could shoot a little bit. I mean, his main game is rim.
He got hurt. Yeah. If he wouldn't have got hurt, that would have been something easy. They would have won a title if he wouldn't have got hurt.
David Lee, David West, running rim to rim, protect the paint, even rebound. McGee, another perfect example.
Don't run out of energy. Just
run. Yep.
Yeah, just run back and
run the floor. Andrew Bogut.
Play defense.
You're not gonna get no plays run for you. You want points, get offensive rebounds.
Right.
Even Draymond, Draymond could shoot a little bit, but even Draymond, if you boil it down, is he running rim to rim, he's capable of doing everything. But if all he has to do is just run rim to rim and play defense and get rebounds, that's when he's at his best. That's when he can do everything. So and that's not who Wiseman is. He's too small right now. He's not intimidating in the paint. He's not really a force, and that's what Steph Curry needs to be successful. That's what Klay Thomas needs. That's what the Warriors need to be successful with the players that they have. Let's talk real quick. I know a couple people asked us, the USA team. Y'all asked us last week about that, so I want to talk about that real quick. I'll just run down the roster. We got Bam, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, KD, Grant, Draymond, Drew Holiday, your boy Zach LaVine, D. Lil, Kevin Love, Middleton, and Tatum. And Pop is the coach. Pop, Steve Kerr, and Lloyd Pierce are the coaches. And the controversy was with Jalen Rose saying he wanted an all-black squad, which we kind of all agreed with in a sense.
He later apologized for that, and he cleared everything up as to what he really meant by it.
That's only because it's easier to ask for forgiveness than ask for permission. That's the only reason.
Yeah, I mean, personally, it's like, bro, it don't matter. Like,
no, it doesn't.
Like you look at the names you mentioned. Like even if Kevin Love is on it, you really think he's gonna be getting significant minutes? No,
no.
He's gonna be averaging 5 to 7 minutes a game. They're not gonna really run plays for him. I think it's more to keep himself in some sort of basketball shape and to, keep hearing it. Because, he was going through a lot of depression and a lot of mind issues. So when you're around guys like that and Pop and Kerr, those are all encouraging guys. Like they talk, they give you nothing but praise. They give you nothing but good. So it's probably that's something his soul needs right now. So I don't knock him. I'm not gonna sit there and be like, oh, he's taking a spot away from, someone else that's deserving. Because it's like, I mean, me personally, I could live without this. Like, I feel during the off season, these guys should be doing what they need to do to get their body right for the next year. So I could do without this whole USA Olympic crap anyway. But my thing is, hey, just hope you're ready for when the season starts. When the season starts, I don't want to hear tired and hurting and injuries and all of that, because that's what this is for, man. It's your off season.
Well, that's what I like. A lot of these dudes on this team are not make excuses kind of guys. I don't think we'll hear any of that from these dudes.
I hope not.
A lot of these guys are, all-stars / borderline superstars. Or they, KD's exception. He's probably the number one on this squad. So I don't think you're going to hear any of that. I will say this about Kevin Love: his game does fit that European style of play. It's the same reason why Carmelo Anthony is probably will go down as the greatest, USA player ever. Because his game was perfect for that style of play. He didn't have to play much defense. He could just run, and that three-point line is basically like a mid-range jumper for him. And he was knocking them down. If I'm not mistaken, Carmelo Anthony is the number one scorer in USA team history. I know he's played the most games too. I know a lot of people argue Carmelo's resume or whether or not he'll ever be a Hall of Famer, but based off of his Team USA contribution, he makes it in just off that. Was he have three gold medals now or 4?
Like, come on.
So I'm honestly surprised he not playing. Honestly,
you guys let Tracy McGrady in the Hall of Fame.
Yo, I know a lot of Magic fans, bro. Pumping brakes on the T-Mac talk.
I have no problem with it. But what I'm saying is, if you're gonna sit there and put Tracy McGrady in it, then how you not gonna put Carmelo Anthony in it? Like,
I agree,
man. Let's just stop with this. Oh, he doesn't have any championship rings, and he doesn't have stop knocking a player for what they don't have. And just accept and appreciate what they did. He accomplished a lot. You know what I'm saying? And he accomplished a lot of what other players that's in the Hall of Fame didn't accomplish.
Yeah.
So I can't sit here and be like, I don't know why they saying he's not a Hall of Famer. Like, I just don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I believe in due time, Chris Bosh should get in. So if Chris Bosh, if I'm not mistaken, if he's not already in it, I think they put him in this year or something like that. So
let's see. The class is this year, 2021.
Yeah, so you're gonna put Chris Bosh in, like, why not Carmelo? Like, what did Chris Bosh do on his own? Like, he won 2. He got 2 titles, but look who he won that with.
And that was always one of my big things with Chris Bosh, especially at that time. Up until he joined the Big Three, he had done absolutely nothing but score a bunch of points and get rebounds.
Points. That's it.
The Raptors didn't win shit. I don't think he
wasn't winning nothing. They wasn't a threat. They wasn't a dominant team in the East. They wasn't a force to be reckoned with. Like, he would just go out there and make an all-star game here and there, and that's it. So you're going to let guys like him in. And then look, Carmelo's in hands down first ballot.
I agree. And I'm sure a lot of people do. But, there's a lot of people who don't like Carmelo Anthony. for whatever reason that may be, but it is what it is. Once again, you are listening to Shoot Your Shot Podcast. This is episode 13. It's Joe and Joe in the building. Vic is out today. Hopefully he'll be back on Thursday. We are talking basketball as always, and we're going to continue with that. Western Conference Finals game last night. Clippers and the Suns. Pandemic P shed his skin and was playoff P for a game. Dropped 41, 13, and 6. Devin Booker at 31, 4, and 3 in the loss. The series is at 3-2. What do you think happened? Did the Clippers do it again? Did they pull this one out, or is Chris Paul getting his run to the finals for the first time?
As my our fellow co-host would say, it's the Jekyll and Hyde team of every day. Like, you don't know what you're gonna get.
Yeah.
When you put your money on them, they don't come through. When you turn your back and try to shit on them, they show you who they really are. So I don't know. The pressure is still on Phoenix. You were up 3-1. You had game 5 in your home. The opportunity to shut it down, and you guys blew it. Now it's game 6. You already won on their court, so it ain't like it's not easy, or it can't be done. It can be done. Now, will you do it? If Phoenix was to lose game 6,
it's a lot of pressure on them.
The pressure is going to be crazy. And if Phoenix was to lose game 7, then Chris Paul's career will just be solidified as a known collapse. Like, there's no way to shake that off. Like, this is the icing on the cake to blow a 3-1 lead. Like, yeah, He's done it before. You've done it before, but not in this type of field, like this type of environment. You're in the Western Conference Finals. You have the chance to go to your first finals. Not only did you have a 3-1 lead, but you had home court advantage. And you somehow got the better team. So the pressure's on Phoenix. I'm not gonna make any predictions right now. I mean, I'm gonna just see how it goes, because, like I said, I sit here and pick the Clippers, they might lose. If I sit here and pick Phoenix, the Clippers might win. So I don't know. Kawhi's not gonna play. We all know this. They don't want to come out with the exact issue of what's wrong with him.
They've been too quiet.
Yeah, they want to keep this whole day to day. I don't know. Maybe it's a test to see what the Clippers got without him, and then if they make it to the finals, he's back. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but I just know this will look very bad on Chris Paul and the Suns if they can't close this thing out, if they can't win this series.
Yeah.
So
especially because, like you said, right now they have by far the better team. They don't have any injuries that I'm aware of. And the Clippers are missing their best player.
Not just their best player, they missing a few players. Zubac is now out. Ibaka has been out, hasn't played this series. Like, they are very short-handed. So what's the Suns' excuse? Like, what's going on?
Well, as of right now, they are still up 3-2, so they're in a good position. I'm hoping that Chris Paul wrap it up tomorrow. Is their game tomorrow? He needs to have one of those Chris Paul games. He needs to have one of those, 25, 15 assists, 3-4 steals kind of games. I think since he's come back from COVID, he's been trying to let Booker do a little too much. And that's just not who Booker is yet. Booker, he might be on his way to it, but for me, if I'm that coach, I don't want Devin Booker trying to impose his will on the game yet. That's Chris Paul's job right now. Getting people involved, including Devin Booker, getting him open shots early, so he's in that rhythm, so he starts off hot and stays hot, because that's how he plays his best basketball is getting those easy shots, those easy wide open threes. That gets him going, and then it opens it up for everybody. So, and that's honestly what's been the biggest difference in his game this year is that Chris Paul, getting him those open shots that he might not have gotten before and that he didn't have to, work his ass off for. So I think Chris Paul needs to step up like we know he's capable of doing and prove us wrong, prove, that all those other times before were a fluke. When the I forgot who it was that asked him about the 3-1 and he walked off. That's cool. You don't want to do no talking, but now it's time to, to do it in the games and show us what the real deal is. We've said it on this podcast. I know I personally have said it. He's the best point guard, in the league right now, probably a top 10 point guard all time, even without the rings. So you gotta prove it, because this is where these are the kind of games, these are the kind of series that separates the dudes we talk about forever and the dudes we talk about from time to time.
Well, we'll still talk about you, but what's the narrative? What's the way we're talking about you? Like, do you want to get talked about in a high praise, in a high sense? Like, let's take, for example, a John Stockton. You talk about the all-time leader in assists, the all-time leader in steals, and he gets talked about as if he did nothing in the NBA. And it's
very true.
It's simply because he didn't win a ring. Two, when they were close to winning the ring, they folded. They lost to the Bulls 2 years in a row. So, and then they had their little chances here and there and would just fold in the last minutes in the last game, losing in the Western Conference Finals to Phoenix and to San Antonio and to Houston one year. And, Houston was a worse team than them, and Utah should have went out there and destroyed them, and they couldn't. So, these things haunt you as you retire, and 10, 15, 20 years later, people are talking about you. So this is your chance to say, you know what? I can erase everything, and we can start from here. They'll take all my good, and that's what they'll talk about. And whatever I did bad, they'll eliminate that shit. They'll get rid of it. It'll be swept under the rug. It won't be me blowing the lead 3-1 and when I was in LA, or me getting hurt when I was in Houston, or me being traded and doing this and that. All that'll be swept under the rug. It'll be he won that title in Phoenix, and he was the main reason why they won, because everybody will say, well, before Chris Paul got here, this Phoenix team was nothing really. Yeah, they had a team. They had Ayton, Booker, and all these guys, but they wasn't winning nothing. They wasn't dangerous. They weren't
in the playoffs.
Right. They wasn't a playoff team. They wasn't feared by nobody. Chris Paul made all that happen. Chris Paul. So now that we are here, it's up to you to say, you know what? Fuck it. If you guys don't want to do it for me, you guys don't want to help me, I'm going to go out there and do it. You see what you did? You did what you did to Denver. You went out there, 30-some points. You closed the door on them. You need to do that tomorrow night. And if you can't do it tomorrow night, you better go out there game 7 and do it. Because if you lose this series, that's it for you, bro. Because I don't see you here next year. They said, and to win a title is not just what y'all do. It's what happens to everyone else. Everyone goes through their little bit of luck. Everyone needs that luck, and this is your luck, bro.
Yep.
You faced the Lakers. Davis went down. You was able to get past them. You had Denver without a Jamal Murray. You was able to take care of that. You got the Clippers without Kawhi Leonard. You could take care of that. And then when you play in the finals, you never know. You never know what can happen.
Yeah.
So you don't want to take this opportunity for granted and say, you know what, we'll get him next year. You never know what's going to happen. What if you lose and Phoenix decides, you know what, we're not going to do this again. You opt out of your contract, you go somewhere else.
Yep. And I mean, even that will look really bad because that'll be basically 4 teams in 4 years, you know, or 3 teams in 3 years or whatever it's been. Because he spent two years in Houston, right?
Yeah, I think he was 2 years in Houston.
So 2 years in Houston, then 1 in OKC, then 1 in Phoenix, then 1 here, then, you know, that'll start looking real bad.
Right.
I will say this, I would have much rather played the Utah Jazz in 94 than the Houston Rockets because Hakeem fucking killed us. And I think that we had the players to hold off Stockton and Malone. So I would have much rather.
And Mason would have gave Malone,
yeah,
a little bit of hell.
Yeah, so I would have much rather played that Utah team, and that takes nothing away from John Stockton or Karl Malone.
No, Hall of Famers, but
yeah,
that's the narrative, you know.
That's the difference. Hakeem stepped it up. Hakeem said, "Okay, you know, Jordan took his time off. I'm gonna come in here.
That's what I'm gonna do." And it ain't just him. Everyone, like, yo, this is our chance, man. We may never get this shit again.
And they didn't. They took their 2 years, and
the Orlando Magic did that. They beat the Bulls, and they thought, next we got them. We know how to beat this team. We got them. Next year, we'll be back. We'll be back next year. And look what the Bulls did to them the next year.
Yep.
Nah, bro, that's it. You don't get many opportunities to do this because a lot of things have to work in your favor in order for you to win a title. Like it ain't just putting together a team. It's what's out there, what's in front of you. So, you know, look how close the Bulls came to not even going back. That 7-game series against the Pacers was brutal. They could have lost that. You know, they were in a similar situation where they were up, and then the Pacers won Game 6 to force a Game 7, and at one point the Pacers was up in Game 7. So you don't know what's gonna happen, man. You may never get this opportunity again. So
you bringing up bad times, my boy Ryan. He's a Magic fan.
Listen, I remember this stuff, and the Magic really took that for granted when they beat the Bulls, and the way they beat them, they thought they had them. Like, we the team now. We the team to beat in the East. We just gotta beat the Rockets next year, and we the champions. And it's like, nah, man. The Bulls are gonna come back stronger. Other teams are gonna come back stronger. And what's gonna happen when you face this mountain again? You ain't gonna be able to climb it, man. You gotta do what you gotta do when the time is there. When that shit is in your face, you gotta take it. So I just hope Chris Paul decides to say, you know what? I'm doing it. Like, the hell with you, Booker, Ayton, Bridges. I'm not gonna let y'all dictate and narrate my career and my future. I'm gonna take, if I die, if I go down, it's gonna be because of me, man. I like I said, I want to see you go down swinging, man. Go down swinging. Go down swinging. Don't just roll over, play dead, and let somebody else take it from you, man. Go down with a fight.
Yep, like KD did.
Yeah, go down with a fight, man. Go down with a fight.
From the moment, it's 0-0 in the last game of the finals. nothing is the same for the next season. Everything starts changing from that minute. Teams are not going to be the same.
Right.
You know, everything changes. You know,
Right.
you don't know what the circumstance is going to be. You don't know who's going to get hurt. You don't know who's going to be healthy. You don't know who, you know, there might be a surprise rookie that comes out of nowhere. There might be a dude on a contract year who plays his ass off. Anything can happen. That was the biggest downfall to the Pistons, though. You know, those early 2000 Pistons. You know, they dismantled that Lakers team, and they thought, okay, we got this. You know,
This is it. We
going. Yeah, I mean, they were fortunate that they took care of business for that year, got to the finals, and did it. But then it was like, oh, this easy. We're gonna just do this, and then they, you know,
the
and
Cavs
then
got better. The Celtics got better. The
Magic got better.
So now it's like, holy shit, what's going on? Obstacles now, more hurdles. It ain't that easy, bro. Look at Toronto took advantage. They took advantage that year with Kawhi. They say, yo, this is it. We may not get this opportunity again. So we got to take this opportunity and run with it. We got to play our hardest, our all. As you see, Siakam hasn't put up another year like that.
Van Vliet
hasn't put up another
year. He got that big contract, and
Lowry hasn't put up another year like that. They all just been on the decline since then because that was the year they said, you know what? This is it, bro. And look at the obstacles that fell in front of them. They saw it like, all right, this team is suffering. That team is suffering. Then they got to the finals and Golden State is not 100%. Yo, we got to do this, man. This is our chance. They didn't let the foot off that gas. They kept it down and kept pushing. And they were able to get past Golden State and win that title. And look at that. They haven't been the same since. So you got to take advantage of this opportunity, man. You may never get it again.
I just got a real quick. We won't spend too much time on it. It's just a hypothetical that I always like to ask people, and I've realized I've never asked you. How many more, or do they not win any championships if the Pistons pick Carmelo instead of Darko Milicic?
Well, I always think about that. I look at that draft, and it pains me that here's my thing. Everybody keeps saying they didn't take Melo because they had Tayshaun, right? So they had a small forward. My thing is, okay, why you ain't take Chris Bosh? Why you didn't take Wade? Like I could see if you didn't want Carmelo. You got Tayshaun Prince. So you saying, all right, I'm not going to take Melo because I'm not going to start him. We need a big man. We want a big man. Darko's a big man, a 7-footer, a center. Chris Bosh was a center. So why the fuck you ain't take Chris Bosh?
It just doesn't make any sense. I mean, they're lucky they got that ring. I just don't understand how you pass up.
To this day, I can't understand that draft. And then it made me look at previous picks and future picks from that point on from Detroit. They're terrible when it comes to that.
They've made a lot of bad decisions.
Yeah, like if you look at their draft picks, who they passed on and who they didn't think about and they're terrible. They draft history is disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, like certain players that could have been in Detroit. I don't know, but it baffles me to this day. Now, how many could they have won? I don't know, because honestly, I didn't see Melo fitting that system. But you never know. I always say things happen behind the scenes in the gym when we practicing. So I'm pretty sure when they practice, Melo would have been busting somebody's ass. So we would have had no other choice but to start him or give him significant minutes. That would have changed the whole narrative. And the funny thing is, now you got LeBron, Wade, Bosh, and Melo all in the East at the same time.
That would have been crazy. it would have been crazy. Like, call me biased because I am a big Melo fan. I've been a big Melo fan since he was in Syracuse. But I think if they draft Melo, like you said, they might start him. They might not start him at first, but at practice, just like with Ball, just like with Edwards, like we were talking about earlier, he eventually becomes a starter. We saw that he works well. He worked well with Chauncey Billups. There's no reason it wouldn't have worked earlier.
Right.
His game would have complemented Rip Hamilton perfectly. It would have complemented Rasheed Wallace and Benoit. I think that team would have the whole narrative of the NBA could have shifted with that pick.
In that play.
Because they could have kept LeBron from getting rings for a long time in the East.
They would have won in 2004, and then they would have probably took a couple of years off, like 2 years, 3 years, and then they would have been back again, and Melo would have been like the main guy with those other guys, because at that point you didn't need 2 to 3 stars to score
right
the way you do now. So Melo would have did the bulk of the scoring. You get your 19s and 20s from Rip Hamilton and Chauncey Billups, and you get your 15s and 16s from Rasheed Wallace and Tayshaun Prince off the bench or whatever. I just look at it like the defense would have been able to hold up as well. Because I think what burnt the Pistons out is eventually they had to score, and they didn't have that in them. They didn't have what it took to score and maintain defense. They were beating teams. They were winning because they were beating teams in the mid 80s, low 80s, upper 80s. They were good with that. But then once Boston added their little three, and Orlando added Dwight Howard and Jameer Nelson, Turkoglu, and all those guys, and LeBron got Mo Williams in Cleveland and Anton Jameson, and then you had the sneaky team like Washington that had Gilbert Arenas and all of that. Like,
Caron Butler.
So as time went, Detroit, that 80 point, you had to boost that to closer to 100 now. That extra 20 points is a lot. It may not seem like a lot, but it's a lot. So now who's going to give us this scoring boost? On top of that, who's going to give us the scoring boost plus keep us maintaining the defense? It's not easy. You can't do it both. Can't do both.
Right.
And that's what burnt Detroit out. They couldn't do both for long. It was like, we could play defense, but we can't score. And that's it'd have been
interesting to say the least. I like to ask that question because a lot of people have a lot of different answers. But let's get to Eastern Conference Finals. Hawks at home against the Bucks. It's 2-1. Bucks are coming off a blowout and then a come from behind runaway victory in Game 3. Where you see this series going, Trae Young's questionable. And I think everybody else, Bogdanovich, they not saying anything, but that man, he's not right. He ain't been right since the last series. But Milwaukee seems to be at pretty much full health. Where you see this game tonight going and where you see the series going, you sticking with your Atlanta pick?
Nah, Atlanta messed up. They had it that they were up 15. They not just let Milwaukee come back. They let Milwaukee win, and it made it look
running away.
Right, it looked convincing. It wasn't like a close battle. I just think Milwaukee got too much going on right now. It's not just Giannis anymore. Middleton has woken up. You got Lopez chipping in with 15, 16 points. You got Portis chipping in with 12, 11. Bobby. Yeah, it's just coming from everywhere now. So I think Atlanta is like they hit that wall. They starting to look sluggish. They look a little slower. They look tired. It's not just Bogdanovich. Gallinari looks slower. Clint Capella is like, I mean, he's not
I said it earlier. He's gassed.
Yeah, he's not an offensive threat, but he doesn't look pumped. He doesn't look like, yo.
He can't get up to catch those alleys.
Yeah, right. Alleys, tip-ins, putbacks, offensive rebounds, like all that looks gone. Even John Collins, last game he was in foul trouble real early, and he just looks like he doesn't know which way to go. Like damn, Giannis is just too fast, too long, too quick. I don't know how to guard this guy. So it's just so much going on, and then you got Trae Young. And this is my problem with a player like him. They get comfortable. They get happy, and they want to do the same thing. And it's like, don't do the same thing. Mix it up. You've made it this far because you were able to mix it up. Milwaukee has forced him to not pass the ball. You want to shoot, you want to score, go right on ahead. You're not getting 12, 13, 14 assists no more. That's dead. So now here's where IQ comes into play. And a player like Trae Young, IQ isn't that high. It's very low. Them logo shots, them shooting from 5 feet past the 3-point line, that's not winning basketball. I don't give a damn how many you hit. You're not hitting more than you miss. So I'll live with that shot if you're shooting 30, 31%. We're going to kill you. And by the time you look at it, your lead is gone. You're down 10. And that's the only thing you want to do now. Run down the court, shoot a 3. You miss, I go down the court, I get an easy layup, an easy dunk, a good look at the basket, a good jumper. Like, it's time for IQ. When you make it, you see, you can play off sheer speed and will during the season and maybe the first round or two. When it comes to the conference finals and the finals, now it's about intelligence. It's about smarts. It's about using your brain. And this is where you see teams that don't have the intelligence for this stuff. And Atlanta is showing you they're not a smart basketball team. They're showing you their age. They're still young. All of their IQs are very low. And it's showing because of the mistakes they making. Gallinari was losing the ball, looking for fouls that he wasn't getting. You're not getting fouled. You just simply losing the ball. Atlanta was running the offense through Kevin Huerter, and it's like, that's not going to work, bro. You don't have what it takes. You can't get to the rack like you want. Your jump shot ain't as good as you want it to be. So get the ball out of your hands. You're more of a run through screens, catch that open 3, knock it down, or set the corners, wait, let me break the defense down. I kick it to you, you hit that shot. It just seemed like they don't know what to do, who to run the offense through. Trae Young is supposed to be that guy, but he can't get past everyone now. And now it just seems like shoot. And that's what's killing them. So I got Milwaukee winning tonight, and I got them closing it out in the next game. It's been real for Atlanta. They look good the first few rounds, but now it's like this is a challenge, and they can't stand up to this challenge.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said. I kind of just want to reiterate a couple things. First and foremost, and this is no hate on Atlanta. When they were playing us, when they were playing the Knicks, and when they were playing Philly, they had a certain explosiveness to the team. everybody was playing above their talent. It's like almost like in 2K where like their ratings like temporarily went up 5-6 points for everybody just because of the run that they were on. Gallinari was playing better than he's ever played in his life. Bogdanovich is playing better than he's ever played in his life. Capella, even Trae Young, to an extent, was playing better than they've ever played in their careers. And that's what got them these first 2 rounds. I don't know if it was just a overall belief in the team. Once they won a couple games against the Knicks or that run.
I know why. I know exactly why. It was the opposing defense. You look at the Knicks, right? Round 1. All 5 guys can't play defense. On top of that, you got 5 guys on the court, right, for the Knicks. Out of the 5 guys, you could put you're a Knicks fan. So put your 5 best defenders on the court. Right? You got immediately you're out of position because you have if your 5 best defenders are on the court, that means you may have 2 centers or 2 power forwards or something like that. So if you go by position, the Knicks don't have great defending guards. They don't have great defending forwards. They don't have great defending centers. They have Noel, who's a great defender. Randall is an average defender. He's not that great. When it comes to guards, they're not that great as on defense as well. Alec Burks is not a great defender. So Atlanta was able to break down that defense a little easier. The same thing with Philly. You got Embiid, who's not the greatest defender. He's a good defender, but he was also slightly hurt. You have Ben Simmons, who's supposed to be a great defender, but I keep telling everyone he's out of position. He's out of position playing point guard. And then you got Seth Curry, who's not that great of a defender. You got Tobias Harris, who's not that great of a defender. And then you got either, throw in whoever for your 5th guy that's not that great of a defender. So Atlanta was able to break that defense down. Now you playing Milwaukee. Their worst defender is Lopez.
Yeah.
Other than Lopez, everyone is like a grade A defender. So
true.
When you play in Milwaukee, yeah, Lopez is not a great defender, but look who he's guarding. Capella, who's not a great offensive guy. So he can chill. He doesn't have to worry about nothing. So when it comes to pick and rolls, he can play a certain spot as long as you can't get by him. You don't have to get by him. You the ball player, don't get by him, and Capella doesn't get by him because I'm back. I'm standing back. So if you decide to roll, I got the roller. We're able to catch up. Drew Holiday is able to catch up. Middleton is able to catch up. So these switches that work against New York and Philly are not working against Milwaukee because Milwaukee is a way better defensive team than New York and Philly. So this is why it's not working for Atlanta because they're only, like I said, their IQs are very low. So they only know how to do 1 or 2 things. It's either shoot the 3 or pick and roll. I either throw an alley or that floater. That's all.
Or the bullshit jump backwards into a motherfucker.
Right. So none of that is working because Milwaukee is too smart on defense. They hip to it. They're like, we know your game. We know what you're going to do. So this is why I say IQ comes into play because now you have to come up with something different. Yeah. What happens when you don't have nothing else up your sleeve? You get 21 zipped.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. Yeah, I mean that's definitely a major factor in it. I do think, there's other factors as well because these dudes were playing better on defense too than they ever have. I mean, Gallinari has never been known as a defender up until this series. He was playing damn near lockdown defense. Like there was just something about that Atlanta, something that was just driving them, that they were just playing just that little bit harder. And that looks to be gone. It's like a team that was pressing all game and it was successful, but now you're at the end of the game, and because you was pressing all game, you gas and you can't finish.
Right.
Like you said, Capella is gassed. I mean, 99% of his offense is catching those alleys from Trae Young, but those are getting shut down. Because he's not able to get to the basket as easy because of the defense that Robin Lopez and Drew Holiday and Middleton are playing, but also because he doesn't have that same lift. He's not getting up like he was, last two series.
Also, when it comes to Capella, you're playing Embiid, not taking nothing away from Embiid, but his game is slow.
Yeah.
He's a slow tempo type of guy. The same thing with the Knicks. When they played the Knicks, he didn't have to worry about Noel trying to score 30. So everything was slow for him. Robin Lopez is not fast, but he moves around too much.
He's everywhere, and he can score from anywhere.
Right. He's everywhere. And then you count.
And when this series started, that's what I not say? Robin Lopez is going to be the key.
And Milwaukee also can counter because once they pull Lopez out, who comes in? Portis.
Bobby, yep.
Same thing. He's all over the place. He's moving around. He wants to hit the corner three. He wants to play the pick and roll. He's moving around too much.
And that's the biggest reason why I think Milwaukee lost game one, because for some reason, instead of utilizing those mismatches, they let Giannis play the five, and that let Capella do exactly what he want to do, sit in the paint and not really play any defense. And I think we got to give credit to Budenholzer or whatever the fuck his name is, because he had a game plan that he thought was going to work for whatever reason, and said, "Oh, okay, that was wrong. Let me go to this." And since they went to that,
right,
they've looked untouchable in this series. Another thing, like you mentioned, Trae got to stop with these bullshit ass logo shots. You hurting your team every time you do it. I think, again, because he's tired, he's not going to the basket as much in general, because he looked a little tired, he looked a little gassed, and then on top of that ankle injury, it wasn't as bad as Kyrie's, but I guarantee you he's not going to be 100% tonight.
No, they're saying it's a foot now. It's his foot, not really his ankle. They're saying it's his foot.
Whatever it is, a player like him is hampered with a foot and or ankle injury, because he relies on quickness, being first to the spot, and that's gonna hurt them. And I think that their biggest issue by far this series is they're letting this dude Herter play like he's their number two option, and he's at best when he's like the eighth option. This dude is not a superstar. He played well above who he has ever been in the first two series. He is not that guy. I told my homies who are Hawks fans, if he is taking a shot in the last 4 minutes of a game, as a coach, I'm pissed, unless it's a wide open layup. He does not need to be shooting or trying to take over games. He had the one game in Philly where, he was busting Seth Curry's ass. He had damn near a foot on Seth Curry, and Seth Curry's not a good defender. You are not that guy. You shouldn't be pretending to be that guy. And I don't know if it's the coaches doing this by plan, or John Collins. John Collins need to step up and be the number two option that he is. And they need to not let this dude Herter try to take these games over, because he's hurting the team. He's not that good. He's not that great offensively unless it's a wide open three, or unless he's got somebody shorter on him. He can't take advantage of the mismatch. But you're not going to win. You're not going to win the Eastern Conference Finals when you're treating a dude named Kevin Herter, or this dude Kevin Herter, as your number two option.
Well, I think that comes from Trae Young. It's time for him to. You see, the Bucks won Game 3 in the fourth quarter. Middleton had the stroke, and they was like, give him the ball, get the fuck out the way, let Middleton do what he do. And this is, again, this goes back to my IQ intelligent level. You have to understand that you can't just play hero ball. It's sometimes Atlanta has to get the ball out of Trae Young's hands and let someone else work. And like you said, John Collins, if John Collins is the man, because Bogdanovich ain't 100% and Herter is not the guy and Gallinari is just not on tonight, then someone else. This is why I say Trae Young has to learn something, because just standing there and your game being just one-dimensional, it's not going to work. You're not going to win nothing. This is why I don't see the Steph Curry comparison, because Steph Curry moves 100 miles a minute and he's going through everything. And when
never
he doesn't,
stops.
he never stops. You get that ball out of his hand, you don't have to worry about him standing there. You take the ball out of Trae Young's hands and he stands in one spot.
Yeah.
So what type of offense is that? I don't have to worry about nothing. And you're not even standing in a good spot. You're standing at the logo just waiting for this ball to come back to you so you can either shoot it from there or do something else with it.
Yep.
It's not winning basketball.
It's not.
So
it's really not.
You know,
and he needs, like you said, he needs to learn. His IQ needs to get better, because really if Milwaukee hasn't had to do this, because both end of the games have ended up, it's not been close. But all you really have to do, it seems like right now, especially, keep the game close, and in the fourth quarter, just press them, because Herter and Trae Young gonna turn the ball over.
Yeah,
they both gonna turn it over, and
that's how you beat them, and that's how Milwaukee has beaten them. They say, you know what, we'll let you get, and they let them gas themselves out. The second quarter, Atlanta went on a run. They were up by 15, and they tried their best to maintain that lead, and Milwaukee just kept chipping little by little, little by little, little by little. The fourth quarter came, and it was too close. Atlanta was burnt. We burnt all our gas getting that 15-point lead and trying to maintain it. We don't have enough energy to jump ahead again. We can't do it. That's when Milwaukee said, all right, well, you know what? Giannis has been going crazy the whole game. You know who has a lot of energy? Middleton. You ready? It's the Chris Middleton show. And that's what
he went off. And who did he go off on? Kevin Herter.
He outscored them the whole fourth quarter by himself.
Yeah.
20-17. So that's what Atlanta needs. Atlanta needs to trust other guys, get the ball out of Trae Young's hand all the time, and focus on team. Let the team move around. Let the team get into it.
When they were beating the Knicks, they were passing the ball around. The ball was moving. They were getting wide open jump shots. You
was getting a different leading scorer just about every game. Collins would do something. Gallinari was doing something. Herter would chip in. Capella had his 15 and whatever. Like, they were getting different things from different guys. Now it's like Trae Young or die.
Yeah. If Atlanta don't win tonight, it's over in 6. I see Milwaukee. I got Milwaukee winning tonight. And then if they do, they go on and they win it. They win Game 6 as well.
Game 5, because they up 2-1.
Yeah, Game 5. Sorry. So yeah, this is a do or die game for Atlanta. If they don't win this at home,
that's it.
It's it.
I don't see them winning at home. The only way I see them winning is if Milwaukee get a cold game from, these guys like Middleton, or if Drew Holiday have a bad game, Middleton has a bad game, or if Giannis has a bad game. If these guys don't have a bad game and they play anywhere near to what they supposed to, you in trouble. If Giannis can go for 30 and Middleton can chip in with his 20-something, close to 30 again, then you're in trouble, because Atlanta's not getting that. You may get your 30 from Trae Young, but you're not going to get 30 from Trey and someone else. So it's all about balance, and you don't have that.
So just want to remind everybody, you still got like an hour before the game starts. Go hit the poll on the Facebook page. I won last night. Pandemic P, he got me I think my third victory.
Yeah, we tied.
Yeah, so tonight I got John Collins, Vic got Clint Capella, and Joe, you got Brooke Lopez. Right now I'm ahead in the votes, 6-3-2. So make sure if you haven't already, you go and you vote. I got one more little surprise question I want to ask you, Joe, and then we're going to get out of here. I'm sure you've seen it. Dwayne Wade is concerned that Donovan Mitchell is going to want out of Utah. I know you don't like to get into this too much, but just give me your thoughts real quick. And do you think Donovan Mitchell eventually leaves?
It doesn't surprise me. I think Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert has been having issues with each other for a long time, and it's only so long fake thugs can pretend. Like, you can't keep this bottled in for long. So, and also the state Utah is in, like, that it's just not a cool place to be. Nobody really likes it there. I think what LeBron and KD said during the All-Star break, it gets to a guy like Donovan Mitchell. Being from New York, he wants to, be in that limelight, be in that spotlight. I think the fact of him not being in the MVP conversation, but yet having the team with the best record. You had Clarkson win Sixth Man of the Year. You had Gobert win Defensive Player of the Year. You had Quinn in the Head Coach of the Year conversation. But Donovan Mitchell was nowhere near the MVP candidate, even though he helped lead this team to the best record, and he was the leading scorer. So you take those factors and put them on another player on another team, they're MVP candidate. So why is Mitchell not an MVP candidate? Because he's in Utah. So I think those things play a factor. Like KD and LeBron said, when you play a video game, nobody picks Utah. Nobody wants to pick Utah. Nobody want to go to Utah. Nobody want to be in Utah. So that all plays a factor, and that all helps and hurts in a way. And I think that's what got Donovan Mitchell. So it doesn't surprise me that he wants out of there. Will he leave? I don't know. Maybe Dwayne Wade might be able to persuade him, but I don't think he has that much in his corner or on his side to keep Donovan Mitchell there.
Yeah, I think personally they brought D Wade in specifically to appease Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
But I don't think that's going to end up being enough. He's a New York dude, so you already know where I want him to end up. I've said 100 times he is by far my favorite player. This newer generation. I mean, he's definitely a generational talent. He's going to be around for a long time. At the end of the day, I'll say this: I hope he does what's best for him. Whether that's stay in Utah or leave. There'll be a lot of money to be made if he stays in Utah. Or didn't he already just sign a real big contract? Or
yeah, he signed a pretty big deal.
So
but anything can happen, man.
I'll say this: I would rather have Donovan Mitchell than Damian Lillard. As much as we need a point guard, I think we could get a point guard, or like you said, promote quickly, let him start, or re-sign D Rose. Whatever we got to do there. I would throw all the picks and everything at the Jazz that we have to get Donovan Mitchell, because I think he is that good, and he's younger, and he's got something to prove. So I would really like that to happen. Again, this right now is all speculation. We'll see what happens. But y'all know whenever it becomes news, we will bring it to you. So that's it for today. Y'all got an hour before the game start. So y'all go enjoy the game. We'll be back on Thursday. Hopefully Vic will also be back on Thursday. If not, we'll figure something out. So y'all enjoy the night. We appreciate y'all in the chats. We appreciate y'all on the polls. Yes.
And I hope everyone have a safe and blessed night. Take it easy. Enjoy the games.
Peace.
Peace.